Saman has an interesting personal story, and you may know him from his work with Black Sheep Can Fly. That's the theatre company he founded, and which was intending to present at the Delamar Theatre, though unfortunately that show had to be cancelled because of the corona crisis. His work has also appeared on television. I know he and his company are engaged in television, film, and on stage. That's quite a broad category. But first, Saman, why don't you please just tell us your personal backstory and then how you came to create Black Sheep Can Fly?
Yes, thank you, David, for the introduction. It's funny because I was born in Iran, in a middle class family. My father went bankrupt when I was 7, so then we had to move to a small village. That was the underclass. My most memories are there. And then when I was 11, my parents decided to flee Iran for a better future. And then I spent from my 12th birthday to my 17th in refugee camps. So I got a very good glimpse of the world when it comes to getting a glimpse of the bottom of the world. You know, I feel at home with people from the bottom. Even when I'm doing shows, when I'm the main act, when I'm down, I always find myself in the bottom because I grew up with this feeling of responsibility. I think those two things and my God-giving, talent to just stay in a performance or to sing or perform, that made me understand that I wanted to tell stories. And I understood the importance of telling stories at a very early age. When I was 17, there was this organization called the Vrolijkheid. They're still busy in Amsterdam. They organized theater workshops for traumatized children from the refugee camp. And that was the first time I came across with theater. So that's the way I rolled in when I was 17. I had talent. I didn't know that. There was something I was good in, and that made a very big impression on me. Then I decided to go give this theater thing a chance because my mom and parents, they wanted to do different stuff, but I followed my heart. And then slowly I went to like a semi-professional to professional group, and then I auditioned as an actor for the Theater Academy in Maastricht. My dream used to be like Robert De Niro, and
you just look just like him. Yes.
Yeah, I'm the Iranian Al Pacino mixed with De Niro. My dream was to do like movies like in Hollywood and to be able to transform as an actor, because for me that was the highest thing you could the highest thing you could bereiken.
Achieve.
Achieve. Sorry, I lost the word. It's been a while. But this interesting thing was that when I was in my second class, I'm you gotta understand, I'm looking like a Muslim Iranian in a white world, and that's the Dutch world. And then I realized that if I wanted to be in the stories I like to be in, if I want to be that Robert De Niro, if I want to do those stuff, I have to walk the long way. And by that, I mean, I have to create those opportunities for myself. And it also became, it's also about being happy, right? Acting. For me, it's important that I have the opportunity to play in some project that is great. It's a great project that people feel that project and the response to it. And my teacher used to say, once in a 7 year, you're going to be in that play you like to do. Once in 7 years, you're going to be in a play that everything is right, that the actors are right, the play is right, audience will come and watch. And that to me was unacceptable. I wouldn't want, I wasn't plan. I had wasted too much time in the refugee camp for my feeling to be waiting every 7 years for a dream project, right? I think all those things combined that that pushed me to go and write, to create my own monologues. And when I started to do that, and every time I did it, I get like I got more interested in this other side of it, So because originally I used to be an actor, but now I'm writing. Now I'm making the concept of my own solo, not a response to it. And then in 2014, when we made a play about the children in refugee camps and about people who were coming from other side, and we told their story, and we had this great response. Nobody home. We were sold out everywhere. It was very impressive for me, for a couple of refugee kids who just like finished their study and now they're like the talk of the town. And it was that moment that I understand I needed to set shop. I needed to create my own company so I can create opportunities for myself, and that I could create stories about people with immigrant background, for immigrants. And the importance of that was also very clear to me. Um, all those things made me, again, to start my own shop. But how do you do it? I think the most important things, of course, is talent is very important, but the most important thing is just having the guts to just do it. Every inspirational speech I have seen, and they always make like 10 rules or 5 rules. In every speech, there's one thing that always come back, and that's the just do it part. And I tried something and it worked out, and I built up on that, and we created a vision. I teamed up with Nima Mohakek and Christine de Jager. Like Run DMC says, to reach out for your dreams, you got to work as a team, and that's very important. That has been very important for my journey, to be being able to team up with these great, intelligent, inspiring guys like Nima, like my manager, like Christine. Um, and so with Nima, uh, it was actually his vision he had for his movies that we actually used for Black Sheep. And the vision of telling story of Nima was, we are fascinated by stories that has a um, this has to be like a human urgency, and it has to be saying something about the time we're living in. The story have to have importance for the time we are living in. So that became our motto, and luckily, every fund that you have in the Netherlands, that's also very important to them. That they feel that this is more. It's to my experience. It's my truth. I don't know. It's like the truth, but my truth is maybe of the 10 things we have applied for, we have been lucky, able to get 7 of them. And I think the main reason why we always make great chances to finance our projects is those things, because we hit always subjects that's like happening now. They're very hot, and we have the guts to choose those subjects and tell our truth about it. I think like those has been those are playing very important part for us.
Great. I want to come back to some things you said, but you've actually led me directly onto a very important question for everybody in the cultural sector, which is how you finance what you do. So you talked about funds, but I happen to know you don't receive regular public subsidy. So how do you finance the work of Black Sheep Can Fly?
We started small. I think like we started with. I always say like you have to dream big, but you gotta start small, and you build up on that. The first project I did, it was I that's also about like wanting to telling your own story, the importance of it. So I had a lot of material, songs I've written in my 5 years I was on the theater academy, and I wanted to do something with those songs. I want to make it like a combination of theater with those stuff. So we had this conversation, and I think like because of where I'm coming from, and always trying to be very honest. I'm trying to be like honest about the story and why. And I can pitch that very well. I have learned it, and I think that's very important. That's like a starting. So when we had like I was just I came from the academy and I had this conversation with a club, and we wanted to make a short play for the parada. You've heard of it, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about, like starting small. Parada is like a great place to start small. You can make a great national impression on the parada, and you don't need a lot of money for it. I think like the first play I did, the whole financing thing was like 18,000 euros, maybe 20. That's nothing compared to projects I'm doing right now. But that like that, and I was also lucky, but you know, all those things came together because that play made a very loud noise, and that made us that I started to create a name with that play for myself. And after that, the play became a success. So now we get the chance to do it for the theaters, and now it's like we're talking about more money to finance it. And just like that, I keep those like premise, like oh, the story have to be say something sporting about now, the time and the society we're living in. And we've been building on that since then, and we work very hard for three years with that model, and we made like 3 plays, 3 videos, and 1 short movie, and that made enough noise for us to be to apply for structural subsidy in the Netherlands. And we were very lucky in this time to actually be able to get one of those big subsidies.
Well, congratulations.
So, thank you very much.
Do you think that having that subsidy will change the way you work?
Yeah, definitely. Because you got to understand, there is this image about artists that we are like getting money from the government and lazy, and it's just a hobby to us. I can assure you, like in our team, people have been literally sick because of the hard work and not being paid for that hard work. And I don't think we would be able to do that for 1 more year if we didn't have the subsidies. So now we can breathe. Now we can like actually all the stuff that you know, when you have your own, when you're starting for your own, you can't be saying I'm just a director. You have to be like the artistic leader, but you have to also do some PR. You have to do all those stuff. Now we can like afford to have some people helping us with those stuff, and that gives like air, that gives us air to breathe. And then when you have time to actually look outside and have some fun and live, that also inspires you to do other stuff.
I know you said you make work for video and short movie. I know you're also interested in taking your work to different countries, to Britain, for example.
Yeah, very.
So it seems that you're willing to work in any environment where you can tell your stories. Is that right?
Yeah, that's like I was also talking about this yesterday. If you're an artist or you're a creator, anything you do, if you have more talents and you have the time to develop those talents on the side, I could advise you to do it, because one day they will all come together. And for me, it all was about telling stories. If it was acting, if I was writing songs and directing, it was all about that. And I knew the importance of telling stories. And yeah, so that's the sorry, I lost the question. What was the question again?
It was that you're willing to work in different formats, not just theater.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still you know, I can imagine myself doing documentaries maybe one day, or working for TV, because it's all about, to me, the goal is, I'm not the type of actor who acts because he really loves acting. I'm the type of actor who wants to give his ability of acting to a director who's telling a great story. And that's you know, that's sort of like a personal, but it brings me also back to like having your own personal artistic vision. And of course you need to have a business vision too, but having a vision is the most important thing, because then like if you have like a premise of your own artist being an artist of life, then you know then you can reject projects way more easily, even if it's about money, because you know who you are as an artist.
You mentioned earlier that it's essential to work as a team.
Yeah.
And in fact, I know that you are very good at networking. Really, if you find somebody who could be interested in your work and perhaps could help you along in a little way, you do not hesitate to talk to them, to try and engage them with your projects, which personally I find is a fantastic thing. It doesn't necessarily come naturally to most people. A lot of actors look at the theatre company, for example, to do all that for them. Or some people involved in running bigger companies really only look to the government or local government or foundations for their networking. So tell us a little about how you network. Maybe you can give us some examples. I mean, outside your team.
I'm fearless. I'm fearless, but I also have the confidence that I always have something to offer to. I understand this. I think it's important to know that you're never the beggar. You're never begging. Even if I'm asking someone for money, if I'm asking for 100,000 euros to invest in my company, I'm offering them something. And what I'm offering them is to have a chance to make impact, to actually do something that matters for the society. And I can prove that because I have collected all these stories and all these videos of how a play about racism can enrich minds of people. And that's it. I always trying to do it on I know I got something to offer, and I know people are good, and I know that a lot of people also actually love to help people. That is also a satisfying process. Like if you can help someone, you feel good about yourself because you was able that your being actually had like played a part in it someone's day. And I think the combination of that makes me fearless, I'm always able to try because I'm doing it for the greater good. I'm not only doing it for myself. It's always about me and my team and the stories we tell for society.
Okay, and it seems also that you have such a clear vision of what you want to achieve that you're quite happy to take different kinds of partnerships, different kind of money. For example, I don't know, maybe you do this already, but I guess you would be happy to take commercial co-production money from a commercial producer, film money from a film producer. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I have a vision about that. You know, I think it is nothing wrong to do. I think like as artists, we have to just put the labels away. That is something about, no, you're an actor, so you shouldn't do commercial projects. It's all, you know, if you do a commercial project, you do in 20 days, you make like, I don't know, 20,000 euros of it, and you stick 15 of it in a new project to do your own stuff. You know, so then you're working like it's very personal. But to me, I have like a principle thing. I would never do a commercial for a casino because, you know, I have friends who lost their money. They lost their lives. I would never do a commercial for McDonald's. You wouldn't see me do that because I don't believe in it. But there are a lot of ways to think commercially um, about art because I think like in big companies, I think like what we have to sell as artists, a very important thing is that money really can't buy is connection. And it's also about making an impact. I think like big companies are some companies have way too much money, and if you could like afford them that, if you could sell them that, and it sounds strange like selling impact, but you have to call it by that name because it's possible. And I've been working um, with the Dutch government with projects, and I know that we as artists, as creators, we could like hold hands with the government, so we could like make the audience feel their purpose. That's our job as an artist. We are able to bring emotions across, right? Because I've been to this. Yeah, we have you have some days that you have like there's this talk about the refugee crisis, right? So they invite a minister, they invite a teacher from the university. They invite a couple of people, and they also invite someone like me as an artist. You have all this talk the whole day, and then I come and I have this 5 minutes of that song where I actually can bring all those stuff in someone's heart. And it's not about the brain anymore, it's about like the emotions, and that's my job as an artist. And I think that's something only we can do as artists. There's no essay who can make you feel like some song being sung by some beautiful person on a stage who have been trained to bring those emotions to the audience. So I always think about like this scene in Wolf of Wall Street when he says, "Sell me this pen," and he say, "Write down your name. Can you write your name down?" I think like our pen is that, and that we can bring emotions. I don't what kind of artist you are, and I think you have to be able to find a way to give that structure, and make sure you always documented it, so when you actually can prove it. That's also very important. And I think that could be a new way for us artists to create more opportunities for ourselves. Because right now, racism a very big thing, right? I think like the refugee crisis also. We could use the story to give like I don't know, all these people who are working for an insurance company, right? They're having great jobs, but all they know is their job. So this this fresh new insights of the perspective of a refugee can be priceless for someone who's been stuck to doing the same job. So we could use the stuff to motivate people, to inspire people, to actually enrich their minds, because a lot of people think they know a lot about racism, but this play we have shows you that even if you're white, left, and liberal, you still have blind spots. And those are very valuable information for some companies. That's one of the reasons, that's one of my dreams, to actually being able to connect art with government, connect art with some big multinational company. Some I believe that we can prove as artists the importance of our job. I think that's an opportunity for us as artists or art sellers, that we could show that we are important, that we have a job, just like the policeman has a job, um, just like the ambulance man has a job, that we as artists also can provide something to the society that's very necessary, and that's entertaining, but also like being able to hold this mirror to a society, because we as artists have the time to think about it and give them that answers. In 1.5 hours you could pick our minds, the work we have done for 3 months, maybe 6 months or a year, and it is our job to prove that. But and I think we this that's a new way we have to walk on.
Of course, right now it's very difficult working in theatre because the theatres are closed. And as
For
I
sure.
mentioned earlier, your show at the Carré, a big opportunity for you, was cancelled. I mean, that's really tragic. But you also make videos. Are you planning to investigate further the making of videos for online, seeing how you can get your story out, earn money? Is that in your
Yeah.
mind?
Yeah, the sad thing about the problem with Corona is that it's temporary, and the sad thing about that is that we don't know how long. Imagine if I would know that it's for 3 years, then I would change the whole thing. It would change my mind to actually see how it works. But to just I don't know what choice I have to make. I don't know if it's just have to like hold on and survive with the idea that theater is going to be open in 2023, or is it going to take longer? And that's like, I'm always for adapting, but it's also like a waste of money if you would invest everything you have to Corona, and the Corona is going to be gone about 1.5 years. So I think like bigger companies like Theater Group Amsterdam, they have the money, so they have, and they also have like online audience, because they're so big, they could like invest money and actually like be able to earn it back. But for small companies like us, the choice is very hard, because we cannot take those financial risks. and we cannot put everything we have on making theater in Corona time. So it's surviving, but you know, I think like very important thing is keep your mind clear and plan. You know, trying to like think. I'm doing a lot of preparation for other stuff I'm going to do in 2022, 23. But I'm also thinking like give it a try. You know, maybe there will be another pandemic. We hope not, but you know, it wouldn't hurt to just spend 2-3 months to think about a new way. How could we like bring our product, that storytelling theater stuff, to someone's home?